I was gonna make a video about this, but I just turned on Treehouse just to kind of see what they were talking about. Everybody in the comments on this Treehouse, the only comment that there is drop the price. These prices for this Switch 2 are ridiculous. Now, you could argue that like we have been paying these prices already, because if you buy the game and then you buy the DLC, you're basically paying $80 or $90 for the game. What we don't know is, are you going to be paying $80 or $90 for the game and then still paying another $30 or so for the DLC? When I saw the prices, I wanted to make a video about it yesterday, but it was kind of just, I had already made a video that nobody watched. And now they're trying to sell this as like a game that you need to buy.
It's a race.
I mean, this is
not who will win.
It's not close.
Yeah, no competition.
Which link will win?
Yeah, it does have a faster
more time
load time
slaying
and all that
monsters
kind of
and less
stuff.
time
You've already
watching the loading
played
screen, which is
this
great.
game.
Which is
Yeah,
great.
it looks
Yeah.
slightly better.
Wow. Yeah, that is a
Slightly better. And look, drop the
It
price,
really
drop the
is.
price.
And we've warped here into the woods.
I'm sorry.
And this is
just like
a section of the game
how is
that
Mario
has a lot
Kart
going
in
on.
some
Like
somewhat
lots of things to
better
animate, lots of
looking Breath
Koroks
of the
popping in and
Wild
out, the mist and the flies dancing
or
in
Tears of
the
the Kingdom,
sunbeams and
selling
everything.
the system.
And
Just
the
doesn't make
Nintendo
any
Switch
sense.
2 handles it amazingly. It's super smooth.
Yeah, again, look at the difference in the lighting, the textures.
Actually,
The
this
improved
the one
frame
for
rate
Switch
is
looks more
extremely,
majestic. I mean, it looks
No, you're
better
gonna
on the
grab it?
Switch.
Okay. Maybe later.
Just going for a walk in the woods.
I'm sorry.
Splash
I
around,
I
looking for
can't
some
buy
Korok
into this.
friends.
It's ridiculous. I don't know what they're trying to sell us. I
It
feel like
looks
they
so smooth.
Really does.
somehow had so much time,
Yeah,
but also
and
somewhat rushed it.
I will say
the
first
one
time
on the
I played
right
Breath
looks
of the
better
Wild,
to me.
One of the first things I did actually was to run up to the top of a nearby mountain and just watch the sunset. And I cannot wait to do that in the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, just to see how pretty it is and how colorful.
I don't know.
So
I
nice.
just I
It's
don't
like
know.
the
I think they're trying
light,
to
like the
gaslight
details
us.
on the individual
Tell us
blades of
it's
grass
ours.
there as he goes
Little
through.
moats in the air.
I can't find 100% confirmation on the game prices, but it seems to be everywhere that these things are going to be like between $80 and $90. So if you buy digital, it's $80, and if you buy physical, it's $90. I'm sorry, it's just not worth it for me. And the thing is Nintendo games never hardly go on sale, and if they do, it's like for 5 or 10%. It's not a big deal. It's just like if you buy a game on for Sony or for the other Xbox. Like the games go on sale at some point. Like you're gonna eventually be able to, like, you might have to wait 2 years, but the games will eventually be whatever price pretty much that you are looking for. I mean, you can find some games for like $5, right? But it's never going to happen, especially with first party games on the Switch or on any Nintendo console. I mean, and then look at the the market, like the eBay market or something like that. Look at some of the games that are going for systems, from back in the day. I think that's what they saw. I think they see people paying these astronomical prices for vintage video games, largely that they made, and they're like, well, if they're going to pay it for a vintage, why not pay it for the brand new? They tried this with the 3DS and it backfired heavily when it first came out. I don't know how many of you actually remember that. They tried that with the 3DS. Almost no one bought the 3DS. You didn't have to go wait for a midnight launch with the 3DS. They basically started trying to give them away, basically. They started trying to, like, I remember GameStop would do crazy trade-ins and trying to get rid of these damn things. And then they created the new, what did they call it? The new 3DS. It went from the 3DS XL to the new 3DS, I think is what the lineage was. But it is ridiculous. There's not a single comment hardly on this thing that isn't drop the price. I mean, it's just, I understand production costs, but with Nintendo, especially, they're graphically like 10 years behind everybody else. I mean, they're not putting out wattage like Sony or Xbox, or I say Sony. Xbox, I don't even know what games are on Xbox. Those games cost ridiculous amounts of money. Like, you don't hear that with Nintendo. Maybe it's because they don't share anything, But the problem with Nintendo, what's the problem for us as Nintendo consumers is Nintendo and Apple are like the same thing. So the Nintendo is a video to the video game industry, what Apple is to the computer phone industry. I mean, they can name their price. They're just that company. They're that niche company that they've turned themselves into, and kudos to them. But like the prices, and then at $500 for Switch 2 with Mario Kart World. I mean, granted, you are saving money, but it's a digital thing, so that they're too lazy to even pack a physical game into the thing anymore. I was already on the fence as far as the system goes, because not a single one of these games is a game that I'm like, oh man, I've never cared. I really like the original Mario Kart, but even when I played that, it felt like I'd rather play Super Mario World. The prices, and Nintendo has done this. I remember they did it. This Nintendo 64, the price gouging on that was ridiculous, and they couldn't keep it in stock though. I don't know if that was an artificial, price and demand that they like to do, or if they actually just couldn't keep it in stock. I'm sure there's the answer to that exists. Maybe. I mean, Nintendo's really weird with that. They like to artificially make things look, because they don't want to have excess stock. So they're notorious for not making enough. It's kind of like Atlas. I just reviewed SMT5. Atlas is notorious for this, not making enough copies and stuff. They did it with the Amiibo, and it just, I don't know, man. I mean, $500 for the system, $90 for games. I mean, we're talking like Neo Geo here. I mean, it's basically like the Neo Geo. I mean, not quite. Neo Geo is ridiculous, but I don't know. If you're going to spend $500 for a system, I can't, why buy PS5? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how many exclusive, I guess, if you're a family person, though, I mean, your kids are probably going to want to play these games, right? I don't know. I do think that they're pricing. There's something weird about this whole thing. They're rushing it. They got a treehouse now. They're acting like this week is E3. They're putting the system out and the games out 2 months after they announce it. You know, it's not quite as bad as Saturn. The Sega Saturn, but Sega kind of did something like this, and it flopped hard. I mean, the Saturn announced the system and put the system out on the same day. Nintendo's not doing that, but the prices, they didn't even announce the prices in the Direct yesterday. I don't know if they've talked about it in the Treehouse Live thing. I don't know, but. And also another thing is, I feel like if they got the Treehouse running right now, they know that there's pushback, because they wouldn't do this, I don't think, otherwise. I don't know. It just feels real shady to me. It really does. Like, the $500 for a system and then $90 for games. And they're eventually just going to round it off to $100 within the life cycle of the Switch 2. They'll guarantee run it. They're gonna well, it's $80 now. And then all of a sudden, we had to put a punch into this new Zelda, so it's $100. Like, Tears of the Kingdom, in my mind, was not worth $70. It wasn't. Breath of the Wild probably was. Tears of the Kingdom is actually a better game, probably, too. But the wow and spectacle of Breath of the Wild was more significant than Tears of the Kingdom, in my mind. I don't know why. I think a lot of people feel that way, but I gotta say, man, I already was telling my friends, the few friends that I had that are video game fanatics, that I'm probably gonna hold out on the Switch 2. I might not even get it at all. And this pricing,
Panorama.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're
fuck.
really grasping
You know,
at
he's
straws
hanging out
here.
in
I
the
keep
forest because
watching
that's
this thing because
why
I'm
wouldn't
like,
you,
I
like,
already
why wouldn't
want
played
to
this
be
game.
hanging out in a peaceful forest
I
where
can't
everything
remember
is
what is this
lovely
Kingdom Breath of the Wild.
and there's little corals.
I've already
Listening to that music.
I think it's Breath of the
Gorgeous.
Wild, right? It doesn't matter. It's just,
right.
All
you
right, so
can't
we're going to
see the
switch now
difference. I'm
into
sorry.
Tears of the Kingdom, the Nintendo
Okay,
Switch
that's
2
what I thought.
edition. I'm standing here
You can tell
on
that
the
they
Great
see
Sky
all these
Island.
comments.
And you can just
You know,
see the beautiful Temple
yeah, it
of
looks
Time
good,
in the
but it
distance.
looks fine on the Switch. Like,
Oh, we're
I'm
not going to
sorry,
stay
if this
here.
is $90,
I'm going to go ahead.
Why are you paying an extra,
Yeah, we're not
like,
here
an
for
extra
long. I'm going to go ahead and put on my
$30 for
glide
this?
suit because we're going to go
$20 for
skydiving
this.
Looking
here.
super sharp there. We got to see that mask. It's,
Oh yeah, you'll see it. Here we go. So I'm
the
actually going
same
to jump
game.
and go directly into that chasm down there, from
It's
the
a long
sky
fall.
Yeah.
into the depths in one go.
and
If
while
you-
you're
if
doing
you
that,
didn't have this
I'm going to do a
side
really
by side
quick
and you played
rundown
the
on
original, I mean,
just
it
what we're going to be
you
touching on in
wouldn't
Zelda
care.
notes.
It's-
So we're going to be
I don't
speaking
know. I'm
to the
sorry.
voice
I-
memories, the
I'm trying not to
navigation,
be on this board,
my
but
play
it's just-
data, global
I
play
was
data,
expecting
daily
something so much
bonus,
more.
photo studio, item
Like the $70 one I could see, but like 90. What game would you be willing to pay that for? Like the next Zelda, maybe? You know, like Mario Kart World, I guarantee at some point is going to have a DLC. So you paid $90 for, does that come with any DLC going into the future? I mean, how have they not announced this? I guarantee they're going to talk about it on this thing on the 17th, which is what, 2 weeks away? Which is apparently is just about Mario Kart. I mean, they are building this Mario Kart like they were building Zelda, but it's not Zelda. You can only, like, entertainment-wise, you can only play Mario Kart for a certain amount of time before it's like, all right, I did that. With Breath of the Wild, they didn't even know how expansive the engine was. The engine was so expansive, there's nothing that you couldn't do. You can't compare these two games. It's just it's not possible. It's not the same thing. And while Mario Kart might have a broader appeal, it doesn't have as much oomph there. And people who have already played Breath of the Wild and already played Tears of the Kingdom, are they going to be charging $80 or $90 for that? You already paid $60 and $70 for the game in the first place, and it's the same game. They did nothing. Oh, yeah, we made graphically better. You can't really see it, but it's graphically better. It runs a little smoother. I mean, you really can't see that much difference between 30 and 60 frames. I'm sorry. Like, I have eyes, right? I have eyes. I can see. Like, when the system's running at 30 frames, I can't really tell that much difference between 30 and 60 frames. There's a little difference. Anyway, I don't know. I've been a Debbie Downer about this largely because it had the smelling and just terrible freshness of the Wii U to it in the first place. They did differentiate between the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. I like that. Whereas the Wii and the Wii U, what was the U? You know, like, what does U mean? If, like, Wii 2 would have made more sense. But the Wii U failed hard, and they were pushing that hard. And I think didn't they do a similar launch to this where they announced it and all of a sudden it was out? I don't know. I can't tell yet. Like, is this going to be a really... I guess we'll see next Wednesday. Is it really hard? I guess next Wednesday is going to be a barometer because next Wednesday is when it goes out for pre-order. How long will it take before the pre-orders are sold out? When you think of the pre-orders for the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 was a huge jump from the PlayStation 4. And I just don't feel like PlayStation or for Switch to Switch 2 is that big of a jump. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's because I don't play handheld. You know, if I played handheld, maybe I would really see the significance in this because, you know, the screen is, you know, according to them, double the amount of pixels and higher resolution and all that kind of stuff. But that also means it's bigger. And how much, you know, like, where are you gonna put that? You're not putting that in your pocket. I don't care, you know, like. So where are you gonna keep it? I don't know. I think I'm negative Nancy just because I am butthurt. They didn't have any Zelda, anything. I played Breath of the Wild. I played, like, I was really expecting a Link to the Past, or some people were hoping for Ocarina of Time remake. It needed that at launch for me. Who knows? Maybe they'll still get one. I don't know. But and if you are going to get one, it would be stupid not to get the one that comes with Mario Kart, because you're saving yourself $40. 40 or 50. I think it's $40. You're saving yourself $40 because you're going to buy the game anyway, because it's the only launch title game. It's it. There's nothing else from unless, because I think that Donkey Kong comes out on the 17th of July. And Kirby, I cared so little about it. Even like I spaced out when they played. I mean, Kirby, I don't understand why anybody likes that game. Anyway, enough negative Nancy from me. But yeah, it's just too much. It really is. Anyway, talk to you in the next one. Peace. Oh, I always forget to say my name in the beginning of this. My name is Ryan. Nice to meet you. I'll talk to you in the next one.